Ah, look at that. The panels are getting lots of beautiful sun. As you can see, it's up over the trees now. This time of year isn't much of a problem for these trees. It's just for a couple months out of the year. Well, actually more like 3 weeks out of the year, you know, for a couple hours a day. But a lot of people said, why cut all these trees down if we don't have to? Why not just raise those panels up? Well, that will be happening at some point, but as you can see the driveway here, you can see down by my dog it's sunny. And up here, there's a bit of sun where the trees have been thinned out. But out there, oh, poor Bubba, he's having a hard time. Anyways, you okay, Bubba? His foot's sore. Alright, he seems alright, he's got a sore foot, so he limps a little bit. Anyways, it blocks the driveway, so these trees got to go. Not to mention this dirt here. There's like a bank all along the edge of the driveway here. We're going to push that back to the back sides of those trees and then put a ditch, some kind of a ditch, and maybe even a raised kind of hump to keep the water over on that side from going out onto the driveway. This side isn't so bad because there's a ditch from there down, but up here there isn't, but that's okay. It's just mostly down here that's the worst spot. Down there, by the way, too, if you were wondering, if you look, that's our birch grove. We're trying to kind of culture that to make some wood for ourselves, but you know, it's not very big, so it's not going to be a lot of wood. But you know, any wood's is better than no wood, that's for sure. But we're pretty snowed in up here, as you can see. Just so you know, this is actually part 2 of a trailer I've decided to make. We are going to be doing a series, mostly, I'm going to just do most of the videotaping and part of the planning, but my father's actually going to narrate most of the videos, and because he's a lot better at narrating stuff than I am. You know, it is his house, so he should narrate it. Yeah, we're going to call it Off-Grid Life, and just tell you some of the trials and tribulations that we've gone through. Now, obviously, like I've said before, I don't live here, my father does. I don't live off-grid, my father does. That being said, I do experience a lot of what goes on here. I'm here for a lot of it, I'm here all the time. And if he needs help with anything, I'm the first person he calls. So, anyways, quick updates on some stuff. And some stuff I didn't touch on so much in the last video. Right here you can see our solar panel, hot water solar panel. Unfortunately, the glass got broke out of it before we even got it up. It still does work, but not near as efficient. My father's actually looking in, he wants to get some kind of solar spray paint. I was thinking flat black would be fine, but apparently there's some kind of solar expensive stuff that's even better, heat transfer paint or something. So he wants to get that, so you know, if that's the way he wants to go, we'll go with that. We'll paint her up, and then even if we just put a piece of plexiglass or something over it just to give it some way to hold on the temperature. And up there, if you notice that panel actually powers the circulation pump for the hot water system. This light, oddly enough, in my last video I said these lights were crap and these lights were good. Well, I kind of had it backwards. These lights seem great at first, these ones over here, but they don't seem to do so well every day. Like, they don't always come on, and don't know what the issues are with those, but they're definitely not as reliable as this one. This one, though it's ancient, you know, it's still working, and the sensors aren't right because it comes on during the day and stuff, but it still does work. And, you know, quite often on my way out, it's turning on, so that's a bonus. This is the propane tank for the stove. Over here, we got down there, that's the fridge tank hooked up. Soon the fridge is going on the big tank. Those are the 2 fresh propane tanks that I brought up the other day. Because of the storm coming, we decided to, see, he's fine. He's just a sook ass. Oh, he just fell through the snow. But anyways, I brought up this propane for him. in lieu of the storm coming. Here we got another one of them lights. This one barely ever works, which is a shame because this is the one we'd like to use the most. Maybe it's the panels are just garbage and they really need to be angled to the sun. Don't know. What else? Well, it's been a self-sufficient year for wood heat. The chimney's actually going. I don't know if you guys can see that. The fire is smoldering along. The woodshed isn't looking super full though. Luckily it's the 4th of February, so another 6 weeks and shouldn't be so bad. But this will get eaten up pretty quick, so we're gonna have to go cut some wood here in the next couple days. What? You silly boy. You got your ears up and everything. Goofball. You goofball. Anyways, I love having my dog around. He's quite the entertainment. In here, I don't know if I showed you. I think I showed you. This is our generator shed. I'll show you again. I'm just kind of going over some stuff. If I repeat myself, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I'm a little more thorough. But yeah, here's our generator. We run it in the shed. We've got cooling. Well, those fins, they seem to do enough. Like a hornet's nest in there. Look at that. But yeah, this is where all the solar panels hook up. And if you see right there, this is how we hooked up the solar panel from my camp into the system. We just used an extension cord, put an end on it, and plugged her in. And then that goes over in through the house and up onto the roof for my 100-watt panel to add for much larger, I don't know where that came from, to add for much larger solar. Anyways, other than that, out here it's not very nice. Well, it's a nice day, obviously, but it's not very nice to just be hanging out outside unless you're sledding or doing something like that. But anyways, I hope that explains a bit more. Like I said, a few people have been asking about these trees here, why we plan on getting rid of them. We are clearing a few more, like from that tree house roughly over here right to the driveway and about 50 feet in or so. We're going to be clearing all those just to open up the view plane because well, that and these are scraggly little shitty trees. They're not really much. What is this dog going through? You goofball, what are you doing? Get that. Get that. Dogs are so funny. But yeah, they're little scraggly trees, like you can see. They're little spindly things, and half of them are half dead. They're not really good for anything. It's an unmanaged forest is the way this grows. So. But we are keeping the bigger hardwoods, hopefully to keep as many as we can, because we do like the hardwoods a lot better. Softwood trees are a dime a dozen around here, obviously. They're everywhere. These ones got to come down. They're too close to the house. And that's the other thing. We don't like having any trees close to the house for obvious reasons, because, you know, the house can get damaged by them. As you can see too, I have a problem with these ones here that are right beside my camp. I haven't decided what I'm going to do exactly. I'm sure I'm going to cut them at some point, but I was thinking what I might do is actually, there's that stump right there. I was thinking of tying a strap up to the top as high as I can get up in that tree, and then tie it to that, and then every week or two give it a couple cranks on a ratchet strap or come along or something. Just crank it down a little bit by a little bit, and then, you know, bend that tree right down like that, and then I could bend the other guys, like one this way and then one that way. It'd be pretty neat, but I don't know that that's gonna work out so well. What the hell is in my driveway or my yard? I don't know if you guys can see that better than me. I'm gonna have to go down. I can't see the camera at all, but there's something down there. It's like a pumpkin or something. I don't know what it is. Bear with me for a second. What the fuck is that? Hey. Oh, this smell sucks. Hey. What is that? Is that a green pepper? That's what that is. Just a green pepper. Roscoe, go get the green pepper. Oh, hey. See this? Hey. What's that thing? Huh? What's that beside you? Is that green pepper? No, that's a piece of snow, you goof. You don't want the green pepper? Well, you never know what you'll find around here. I hear chickadees and blue jays. That's a good sign. Not that they go anywhere for the winter, but if they're singing, that means it's a nice day. And that winter soon will be over. In a few weeks, and things start to clear up. Anyways, back on track. I'll get inside and explain things a little better. Had a little incident the other night. Chimney fell apart. Happens from time to time when you have a wood stove. And the connection up here let go. And the old pipe was just rotten. Didn't realize how bad it was, obviously. But it was no big deal. Fixed it temporarily and then put in all new pipe up to there. So now it is new pipe right up to the Selkirk. And then Selkirk the rest of the way. Before it was just old shitty stovepipe like this, and that sucked. And we had a lot of problems with it. But this little stove we have not had any problems with, and must say it is a very good little stove. Dad's been using shitty wood. I think you can see that's punky softwood, green birch, somewhat green beech, and the shit burns. He doesn't even need much of it. He has to keep it shut down most of the time because of it gets too hot. But I gotta let the dog in. Sorry about that. Anyways, like I said, this little wood stove works great. Keeps the place nice and warm. Doesn't take much to make a good fire in it. And in time we're gonna have to mind the garbage. But speaking of that, yes, there's some garbage in that, but if you're complaining about the dirt in here because there's wood chips and that all over the floor, too bad. My father carves. Can you tell? See this? My father carved that. He carved both of those. See all these sticks in the back with the intricate woodwork? Yeah, he carves. He carves a lot. So there's a lot of wood chips on the floor. He sweeps it up all the time, but just because you sweep up all the time doesn't mean the place is going to stay clean. Especially when you're busy people like we are. You know, we get a lot done. And cleaning isn't on the high priorities because, well, we're not trying to attract women here. And, you know, there is a line, of course, you know, you got to stay clean, but at the same time, you know, you don't have to go overboard. You know, you don't want to be tripping over stuff, but at the same time, you know, you just need what makes you happy. Now, if you need a spick and span place, that's fine. That's up to you. Word of advice, don't live off-grid. It's very hard to live off-grid and super clean, as well as, you know, not leaving any carbon footprint. That's a whole other story. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, back to the wood stove. The wood stove's awesome. This fan, well, it works. And actually, it does move air when it gets going really fast. Unfortunately, the wood stove's pretty close to melting down at that point. So, that's not, these things aren't so practical. I don't know, they work, but they're not the best. Trying to get my light better here. The camera does not like the sun. Also, this is the hot water tank in behind. There is the hot water panel is in behind the wall here. This wall. There's pipes down underneath the wood that run down and circulate through, and there's a heat exchanger actually buried under the wood pile, boxed in. Anyways, that's between that and this water jacket here is what heats this water tank, which isn't too cold. Problem is we've run into is this water jacket was designed for another stove. It was actually inside of a cook stove, but the cook stove took up, you know, this whole corner. So we got this little guy in here, and my father didn't want to get rid of the water jacket, so we ended up just sticking it on the side there. And over the last few days we've realized that we can actually turn that around so that that flat plate is hard up against the stove. The only problem we're running into is there's those riffles, or ruffles, or whatever you want to call them, that only allows parts of the stove to contact the plate here. So we're trying to think of what kind of medium we could stick in there. You know, you need a lot of thermal paste to make that work, but there's got to be some kind of goop we can stick in there to increase our thermal transfer. But just that alone, that, you know, bolt that right to the stove like that, that should make a huge difference in my opinion. You know, as far as heating the water and that goes. We do plan on getting a... Sorry, I move around a lot, and I don't mean to all the time. Don't want to get you dizzy watching my videos again. I think I did that in my last video with my shittier camcorder though, so hopefully this one turns out a little better. I do have a better camcorder now. Anyways, I want to say thanks to everybody that's been watching my off-grid videos, and that's, you know, I do a lot of different types of videos, and if that's why you're here, thanks for watching. There are more to come. Like I said, there's a whole series we have planned where we're going to go in depth on different things like heating, refrigeration, blah 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 blah. Just, you know, we're going to try to start somewhere near a starting point and just go through all we can about living off-grid and what it's been like for us, and more so my father. Obviously, like I said, I don't live here, but at the same time I'm a huge part of it. Anyways, a little bit more on the heating while I'm thinking of it. So we got the wood stove here. Well, right now my dad has his backup heat on too, because it's -10 outside. And I don't know if you can see, but there we go. The oven's on, and he leaves the oven on quite frequently when he goes out, and when it's really cold out, that way this place doesn't freeze up and we have pipes freeze like happened last winter. And somebody mentioned about the fridge. Were we worried about the carbon monoxide it gives off? Well, right now the fridge and the stove are running. There's our monitor. Nothing. 0.0. And it does work. We've tested it out. These things do not throw... They're not meant to throw any real carbon monoxide. They're... I can't talk sometimes. Propane burns clean for the most part, so if you get it just right, you know, you don't really need an exhaust. And again, it's, I don't, you know, the pilot light in the stove's a little bigger, but there's also, it's just a pilot light that runs this fridge, and it's no more than 2 lighters being lit at the same time. 2 lighters being lit at the same time is kind of hard to produce enough carbon monoxide to hurt you. I don't know, maybe if you sit in a car with 2 lighters going for 3 days, maybe then, but, you know, it's next to impossible for carbon monoxide to be an issue. If it was, so would hydrogen, because the batteries are not vented to the outside, they're just sitting down here. They have been for about 5 years now. Is there a problem with that? Kind of. They should be vented to outside, technically. But, is that a problem? No. There's not enough hydrogen put out by those batteries to make a big deal. Like, if this place was, you know, if that was all enclosed, like instead of being open like this is, if this was all shut, and there's a door on the end here and that was shut, yeah, we'd probably have a problem. But, there's so much room for it to dissipate, and it's not like this place is 100% tight. I mean, we got old shitty storm windows for exterior windows here, for one. Though most of them are cleaned up, and it's a lot tighter than it used to be. You can see up there, that window is plastic. The old snowshoes. I'm not going to show you upstairs because that's not my department. I'll let my father show you guys that. But down here is our pump. It's just a little piston pump, and works great. And then we got our backup up here, which is the old hand crank, which always works, unless the well line freezes. So no matter what, we always have running water here. Kind of silly not to put one of these in, but if anybody still wants to complain about the mess here, we are accepting applications for a maid. You have to be able to work for free. Actually, you have to pay us to work, and you have to be hot and wear a little French maid outfit. Of course, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just got a lot of flack from the last video about the mess in here. Well, but yeah, sometimes it gets messy. So, you know, sometimes life's messy. It's not always clean and squeaky clean like a lot of people would like it to be. But like I said, here's our water. This is our main source of our running water here. Is this this pump. And that pump is from like the 40s, and it's rebuildable, almost infinitely rebuildable. And that's why we have it, because you know, it can be fixed, and it's not like a jet pump. You know, when it fucks up, you can fix the motor, you can replace, you know, repack it, you can replace pieces. You know, these new pumps, you can't do that. Not only that, they take a hell of a lot more power. This one doesn't. Anyways, also, see if I can get a good view of it up there. Yeah, there it is. There's our well. That's another hand cranker. It's not hooked up. We were thinking about putting it on the top of the well, but it'd be a pain in the ass when the well freezes now and then. Luckily, knock on wood, hasn't happened this year. But that, right behind that well, you can't really see, but there's a bit of a creek attached to our spring. There's a natural spring down, you can't see it, but it's down over there. It never goes dry in summer, which is nice on the top of a hill. It's the water's okay, it's nothing special, it's really irony, so everything kind of gets brownish if you don't clean it enough. But yeah, it's the perfect thing for a place like up here. Unfortunately, we don't have a nice flowing stream. If that was the case, we'd be going hydro for sure. We definitely have some hydro water going on, but we don't, so hydro water. Hydro is water. No, hydropower, you know, that's what I was trying to say. And that's what we, you know, we'd definitely do that if that was a possibility, but unfortunately it's not. So we've actually tried digging out the spring a little bit just to see if in the springtime it would flow, but it's just not enough. But anyways, that's our water, that's the heat. The majority of the power system isn't easy to see right now. I just touched on the batteries. If this is the first time watching, those batteries are 6 Charette, what are they? S460s. Yes, S460s. I don't know if they actually make those anymore, but they make similar ones. Anyways, they're 460 amp hours each. That's 6 volts. They weigh about 117 pounds each, wet, I think, or maybe dry. I can't remember. Anyways, I know they're friggin' heavy because I've moved them around a few times. Awesome batteries. It's been 10 years now since this system's been in operation, and they still work. They still work well. I don't think they have 100% capacity, but I figure they're still in the 90s. So that's pretty damn good for a 10-year-old battery. Not to mention they were extremely abused when, you know, Dad first moved here. We didn't know so much about living off grid and things like, you know, batteries being cold and whatnot. So we dealt with that. We figured out the problems, and they're still working. So that shows you how good they are. And, you know, we've been, you know, the only charging they've gotten is generators and solar power. Generator charging is relatively useless from what we've found out, unless you have a fairly substantial generator. You can buy one of those little piss pot, Harbor Freight or Princess Auto, 850 watt to 950 watt or whatever. They're all the same. They're a little two-stroke jobby, 50cc engine. Complete pieces of junk in my opinion. Every one I've seen is hard to start. Their power that they put out is horrible. If you want to know more about that, I'll try to remember. I'll put a link down below. My buddy Harvey Spooner, check him out on YouTube. He's a really neat guy. Anyways, he did a video where he took one of those brand new out of the box, hooked it up to a kilowatt meter to see what kind of power actually comes out of it. The frequency's all over the board. The voltage is all over the board. Like, there's the power out of those is just, it's amazing that it doesn't blow everything up that it powers, to be honest. But some people swear by it. Some people think that if you hook a big old car charger up to it that, you know, you're going to be able to charge big batteries, but you're just trickle charging stuff. You know, I got the same charger other people got. You can't really see it. It's on its side, but, you know, it's a big 150 watt or 150 amp max Canadian Tire charger. It's nothing special, but you know, it does the trick. Anyways, what else? The fridge is still working great. I gotta stop spinning the screen around. But the fridge is working great. Once in a while it freezes food, but other than that, it's working quite well. The dog, well, he's not working at all. He's just sleeping in the sun now that he's happy. He likes the sun. He does not like cold weather at all. I guess I never really showed you much about the bathroom. I don't know if I even showed you that there's a bathroom in here. There is. Toilet. Sink that's never used. Shower that is used. At the moment, with some of the time with these watering cans that my father fills with hot water so that he can have a warm shower when it's cold. Also might notice up here, lighting. That's another good thing to talk about. We have gone LED, strictly LED. You can see that's an LED bulb there. One type, I think that's a 1 watt LED bulb. There's that type there, which is currently my favorite. And then there's one in there, and there's one in there, and one in here. Anyways, LEDs are quite nice, I must say. Obviously it would be better if we had 12 volt LEDs and ran it more things 12 volt. Things would be more efficient. But it's more of a pain in the ass, and when you're not here, the whole thing, great thing about the inverter is the inverter, when it hits 11.4, 1.8, I don't know. I can't remember where the cutoff is, but wherever that cutoff is, it'll cut it off and it'll shut the inverter down. It'll squawk, but it'll stop drawing power. Now, if you have a 12 volt light hooked up and you draw it down below that, well, unless you turn that light off, it's going to keep drawing. And that's the whole reason we haven't switched anything over to 12 volt, is because it will kill the batteries one day. And all of a sudden we'll be having no power because the batteries were run down completely and every ounce of voltage taken out of them. When you do that to batteries, they never come back the same. But my father left about 3 hours ago for work. It's still 12 degrees in here, which is pretty good considering it's minus 10 outside. The fire's pretty much out. I will show you in the future here. I recently figured out how to hook up my father's TriStar PWM TS45 charge controller to a computer, to his Mac, so we can actually look at stuff real time. Now, we don't have that fancy little screen that TriStar sells for $100 that shows you in a quick glance what's going on. We've never actually known what's going on. We don't know what kind of power is coming in. We kind of winged it that way. We do now because I've got into the computer there, or hooked into the computer. I must say, when you hook it to the computer, wow, you get a lot of options. You get a shitload of options. You know, so many things, like a lot of the things you don't even need. But one of the coolest things we found was an hour meter, and that told us how many hours that the charge controller's been running. And in November, it was just under 10 years it was running. It was, I can't remember how many tens of thousands of hours, but a lot, quite a lot. So maybe it wasn't tens of thousands, I don't know. Anyways, regardless, it's been running 10 years, and that's pretty cool. Can't say anything bad about that charge controller, except it's PWM and not MPPT, which means, you know, MPPT, we might get a little more jam out of our panels, but it is what it is. We can't afford to just go out and buy a brand new charge controller because we feel like it. I mean, the one we have works. It seems to do the trick, so we'll go on with that one as long as we have to, and as long as we can. It is somewhat limited. We can't go too much higher on input powers either, so I don't know. I think, anyways. I'd have to look into that one. Sometimes I don't know all the figures off the top of my head, but that's why, you know, you write shit down. And my father does tend to know. You know, we bounce things off each other and tend to remember stuff that way. But as far as the power system goes, we have the TriStar controller. There's also this Samlex. As you can see, it's not even hooked up. It's a pure sine 300 watt inverter. Unfortunately, it's too small and it was extremely expensive at the time. We barely use that anymore. We got this old Sima or SimQ. It's a 2500 watt inverter. It was actually bought by a trucker to power his truck, and he didn't like it for whatever reason, so he ended up getting something bigger, I believe. So that's how my father ended up with that. Well, that thing's powered this place for 10 years, not a problem, and must say it's good inverter. It's, I'm sure, not as efficient as some of the new ones, but it works. So it is what it is. Anyways, anybody who's watching this, feel free to comment, share, subscribe, favorite the video. Like I said, there's going to be a lot more off-grid videos coming. I'm going to start this series, like I said, Off-Grid Life. Maybe if things get you know, get popular enough, people are interested enough, I may make a dedicated channel for it and try to put up videos on it. And that's something also. I'm going to try to keep doing off-grid videos, like a video from up here, probably once a week. It may or may not have anything to do with the Off-Grid Life series. I may just do videos of up here, because I know some people are interested more in up here than they are in my everyday life, which is fine. I don't blame you. My life can be pretty fucking boring at times. But, you know, I'm forgetting my point, but soon I will have much more off-grid videos, at least, like I said, once a week. I have a few things I want to do at home, you know, surrounding off-grid, so I'll get into those a bit, and into other things. There's so many things off-grid that, you know, the more I think about it, I get overwhelmed with what I should do for a video to even start. Obviously, you know, this video is a good start. Gets you guys a little more acquainted with the area. But yeah, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, feel free to address them. You know, I'm quite active on, you know, comments and all that. I like hearing everybody's points of view and, you know, whatnot. Obviously there's some people ain't going to agree, but that's fine. That's what arguing is for. I have no problems with people that don't agree with me just because I'm wrong. Which sometimes I am. I'm not afraid to admit it by any means, and neither is my father. We know we're not always right. We know we learn the hard way a lot of the time, but you know, if anybody wants to help or even just shoot their mouth off a little bit, hey, go ahead. You know, if you're being a jerk or an arsehole, well, I'm going to just delete your comment. But you know, if you get something creative to say, of course, you know, by all means. You know, it's not worth, you know, listening to some idiots sometimes for, you know, when they don't even have anything to say, really. But I'm just looking in the woods over here and I'm seeing some trees that got to get cut down. Anyways, so yeah. So like I said, if you enjoy the video, please let me know. The more you guys let me know how much you like the videos, the more likely I am to make more of them. I should have made this video sooner, and I should make more off-gridios. Off-gridios. There's an idea for a name. Off-grid videos, off-gridios. But like I said, I keep getting sidetracked. But I want to make this off-grid thing, you know, more of a thing on my channel, and like I said, maybe even make a whole channel of it by itself. But other than that, you know, I don't really know what else I want to touch on today. So I think I'll leave it at that for now. And like I've said in the last video, this video, off-grid life is coming soon. In the meantime, just thought I'd give you guys another quick update video, what it's like up here, and what you might be able to expect in the future. And I know there's a lot of people subscribed due to my last video, so you know, I'm hoping that it'll make it a little more enjoyable for you kind of guys. Just trying to think of what else I should say. My videos are never scripted, or they haven't been. The off-grid life videos may be to a certain extent, just that we're going to put up, you know, basic points we want to talk about, just so we don't get off track like I have in this video a dozen times. But other than that, my videos aren't scripted ever, so you know, that's why I wing it and hope for the best half the time. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But anyways, my camera is flashing, or my battery light on my camera is flashing, because I've been talking to this camera for far too long. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, favorite, subscribe. Yeah, do everything you can to let me know that this is doing something for, or this is making people happy, and you know, you like the videos, and I'll be sure to do more in the future. God, I need to work on my mic skills. Alright everybody, so thanks a lot again for letting me take you on this tour of our off-grid property. You can look forward to off-grid life coming out soon. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free. You know, I love to talk. And otherwise, feel free to subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And until next time, have fun everyone. And I hope you enjoy my videos. There will be lots more to come.